Bing. All right, y'all, we're outside today. We're gonna bring you week 4, okay? Let's just dive right in today. It shouldn't be too long today, but you know, every time that I say that, you know you're gonna be in for a ride. So let's see what we get into today, and let's dive in. So we are on, here, I'll let you run it.
We are in year 4.
Year 4. I'll pull up the little chart here, little cheat sheet.
Q3, pretty sure.
Yep, Q3.
And we are in a build.
This week currently is the build. So we're going into week 4 of this current cycle that we're in right now.
Week 4.
Yeah, you can see us all right, cool. All right, and this will be a peak week. So this is peak week, y'all. This is peak week of the prep phase of the build cycle of the peak year.
Peak week.
Hope we're having fun, y'all. So if you haven't noticed, you know, like, we're working now. I know we had those like 2 weeks in the beginning. Everybody was like, oh, we're not doing enough. I don't know, coach. This isn't for me. And now we're at it now. All right.
What's the numbers for the week?
Okay, so the average for the week is a 325, baby. So you know what that means? It's time to get a little heavy.
Time to get a little heavy.
We've been getting a little spicy. Now it's time to get a little heavy. Okay. Let's see what we got. Run it.
Sure.
All right, so we're mapping out the week.
Fuck you, bro.
Whoops.
Pussy. Pussy. They can still hear you. I'm sorry.
The mic's right there.
The mic's on, bro. You know that, right?
Fucking piece of shit. You're live, bro.
we're on right now. You know that, right? That's funny.
Okay, so we got our 7 days.
Cool.
Oh yeah, he's getting it now.
Yeah. We know. We got it this time. All right. So, in case you're new, first thing we do, break the week down, okay, into our, what would you call them? Like, what's the word? Like sections or?
Yeah, it's like I call them the little phases of the week. Even though we're kind of in the prep phase, I still just call it phases. I mean, who knows? Maybe
yeah.
we'll.
I mean, because at the end of the day, even if it's a peak week, right? There's just different phases, and the first phase is we're gonna prep it out.
Prep phase.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, good enough contrast there.
Good enough contrast. Prep it. All right, that's typically the first day of the week. Get your body ready for what you're about to do the rest of the week. Next 2 days are the build.
Building it.
Building up.
Prepping it. Building it.
Think about it like a roller coaster, guys. Like you you prepare, right, for it. Like you get in that thing, you strap it in. Any regular, you know, you're gonna build it up, right? So we go from the prep, kind of get you locked in, seatbelt. Then we're building up. We're going up the top, right? And then we go into the peak, which is the very tip top of the roller coaster. Right? And that's when it gets a little wild. And then the last is rest.
Yep. Riding that gain train, baby. Okay. Cool. And so what day are we testing on here? So we're testing the total once a week. That's our KPI. Remember, as just a little refresher, so really the whole basis of this current cycle, like we talked about in the beginning when we first created this new cycle, is the goal or the result that we're after by the end of the cycle is to increase our total by 5%. So you can take your best total right now, and by the way, either it'll be this week, or when you're watching this, it might already be out or whatever, but we are going to be installing, I call it the athlete profile. So we're basically going to start gathering like a database of all of your main numbers, and then you'll start to be able to get a better track of where the weaknesses are, like what specific lifts, and even start to break down the different segments of each of the lifts and each of the things that we're testing. Because the cool thing too is, it's a little bit of a side note, but the way that I'm trying to create this is that it can even be built outside of just weightlifting. Like even if you were like, if we're talking about business, it's like, okay, what, and that's really even what I base a lot of this off of is my experience in business. What is your key performance indicator? You know, what are the different elements of the business? You got sales, you got marketing, you got your operations, you know, you got all these different elements, and then like, what are we testing? What's the weak link? What's the strong parts? It's the same kinds of principles, but obviously we're trying to lift some weights over here. So we're testing the total, and that test is gonna be on day 6, so that's why that is the end of the peak.
We almost forgot to do the numbers real quick.
Yep.
Numbers, all right. So if you guys remember, the number, this is the average for the different phases of the week. Right, the numbers adjust based on what we're doing. That's how you get, right, that's basically how you're gonna get those training benefits, right? As your phases change, your body's being demanded of different things, which is going to cause different responses and adaptations. The set principle, which we talked about, specific adaptations to impose demands. Based on what you're doing, your body adapts to whatever it is that your stimulus that you're putting onto it. So, prep, we are going to go, don't tell me, we're going up, up, down.
Damn, he's got him.
Up with the volume, up with density.
Up, down, y'all.
Down with the intensity.
Oh.
So, 325 is the average, so we're gonna go 434.
Got him. 434. And we forgot our celebratory little hit here. So
pass that. Don't hog it, bro. Come on, man.
Come on, baby. There it is. There he is. All right. Here you go, y'all. Don't say we didn't give you nothing. Okay, back to it.
There's the average.
There it is.
2, 5. Peak is down, down, up.
Yep.
So we go 2, 1, 5.
Woo! All right, we're getting a little heavy.
2, 1.
She getting a little heavy.
And the rest is down. We'll put on this side. It's down, down, down 2.
Yep.
Right? So that'll be 1, 1, 3.
Yep. All right.
Cool. All right. So as we do, well, we can. First thing we do, right? We have the test days. Remember how we do it last time, everyone? We first break it down. We have the 5, 3, 5, 4, and 3-day programs. We like to build it from the 3 out because essentially, if you were just doing the 3-day program, 3 days is like these 3 things are gonna really be. You're gonna be able to see progress and are really gonna be like your benchmarks essentially for moving forward in those goals that you have, right? So we already have the tests, right?
Yep.
So
Top priority.
top priority, numero uno. The next most important principle to follow is going to be
The weak.
weakness.
There we go.
Day 1. So we will go. Oh, that's how you spell weakness.
Whack.
Can't.
That whackness.
Can't spell apparently. All right. And then that third and final of the main 3 pillars is going to be here. It's going to be strength.
Got him.
If you're focused on these things, you are probably going to see some progress no matter what. 1 capital, 1 lowercase g, whatever.
That's all right.
We'll roll with it. All right.
And then
so
number 4 is like you could work both ways. So you could do like the 3-day and then build out, or you could do the 5-day and then kind of titrate down.
I figure starting with like the least, like the bare minimum, because then that way, like for example, if someone like schedule have a crazy week, they get at least 3 days in versus like you don't get 5. You know what I'm saying? So like for example, if they focus on these 3 things, it's like you're still gonna see progress, like bare minimum, and then you just like kind of like the base level. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that 4th, right? The next most important one is gonna be. We said it was. It's accessory.
Got him.
Son of a shepherd.
Got him.
You son of a shepherd.
The ack. There it is.
Last one. Specific.
Yep. Remember, if there were to be a 6th day, it would be technique, and that is that fancy term, the priority specificity prioritization. Even I get it mixed up.
Rest, and then also big
Wrist.
Big rest. Again, like we said, everyone, make sure you're focusing. That's stupid ass. Right? We still have it so that you guys can still train and show up on those days that you like you are resting, assigned to do rest. But if you, for whatever reason, you didn't do like a full rest day here, you really honestly need at least one day of the week. Just one. You really only need one, but at least one day where you're pretty much like minimal. It doesn't mean you have to sit on the couch all day. You can go for a walk outside, go to the park, move your body, you know, just active recovery is good, but like minimal stress, because especially as we're like, excuse my French, pounding you with all this volume and these repetitions, your body has to recover. Like they said, and I've said in the past too, your body doesn't, you're not adapting during training. You're like, stimulus is like beating you up, and rest is how you're gonna get those, you're gonna get the strength gains, get the hypertrophy gains. Your body's adapting when you're resting. So if you don't rest, you're not getting better.
Rest when it's time to rest, y'all.
That's every day, counted for.
Okay, and then, so let's break down the days. So we need the numbers for the days now. So then that'll let us know how many different segments.
Good call. So we'll keep it the same color.
I'm gonna exit for a moment and see what this guy's up to. What you got, son? What you got? Let me see. Oh, just some wood.
So the prep day is gonna go ahead and stay, because only one of those days. So we'll go 4.
We back. 4, 3, 4.
3, 4. Right. Typically, right, when there's 2 days, because this builds over the course of 2 days, all right, we'll treat the first day pretty much like a prep, correct? And then the second day is going to be that average, right?
Yeah. Well, normally I guess I take that back. Typically, I've been doing because it is like we're in a build phase right now, so I've been doing the average, like the specific day is the build kind of rules.
Okay.
So it'd just be the
3, 2, 5.
average.
Okay.
And then, the peak would be on the strength day.
Gotcha. So I had that backwards. Cool. So then we'll peak it out. So then from the average, so then it would be that 215, right?
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. Like what I'm seeing. Starting to get a little spicy.
Rest, again, we drop it down. We'll drop down from the peak or from the average?
This is the average for the peak, so you'll be basing it off.
So 113.
Yes.
Again, yeah, so
Yep,
same thing.
yep.
Cool. Again, it's like if you guys want to go to the gym, like you're just chilling, or you just need to get out of the house, you want to do something, again, just keep it light, 113.
This would be like you just work up to like a 3 intensity snatch just for a single, just like focusing on technique work.
For sure. Accessory is, did we change accessory? We just leave it 215?
This one we treat like a prep.
Okay, so it'd be 3, 2, 4?
Yep.
Cool. And then 215.
Yeah. Will technically be 115, but yeah, because it's the peak of the peak.
You're right. You ain't lying. Hey, 115. That's
one and done, baby.
You know what that mean?
Max out.
You know what that mean?
Okay.
Right. Cool.
So let's break them down. So we're on the weakness day now. So it's a 4 volume. So that means we're gonna have 4 exercises, and it's a weakness focus. So we can probably, I'm gonna pull up what we did last time, but probably do like a technique.
Yep.
As the first block.
Yep.
T. And then you probably just do 2 weaknesses. That's what we did last time.
And then strength.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. And so the technique. So let's see. We did snatch balance last time. Honestly, I feel like we just keep that again. Keep it the snatch balance. Because there is, I had, some people ask questions of, when do we just keep the same thing, or when do we switch it up? And even though like the different parameters of the volume and the intensity and like the numbers are changing, it still is good to have some consistency for a certain period of time, because that way you can like build momentum. As I'm sure, if you're watching this and you've already gone through the first couple weeks of training here and we've done the same exercises, more than likely you've already exceeded what you did the previous week, and you're kind of able to start building some momentum, and that's what we like. Cool. Yeah, snatch balance of 4-3-4, and then so the next one we did a power snatch from the blocks. I mean, honestly, yeah, we just roll with that again.
Okay,
yeah, it's fine. Again, keep the consistency. Yeah, we can just roll with this day. So we did the high block power snatch, from the high blocks. Again, like really focusing on, so just a quick little notes here with the snatch balance. you're really focusing on that speed and that drive underneath the bar. And then with the power snatch, you're really focused on one, getting a good position in that start, and then really driving through the legs, because it's going to be up high, so you're not going to have a lot of room to go. So really driving through the legs and then being really fast with that turnover. Ideally, everything should just stick and lock, and that's what you want. Okay. And then the second weakness, we'll do the push press again. And the push press, you're really trying to train and like hone in on the sequence of the leg drive into the arms. You don't want it to be like segmented to where it's legs and then like, oh shit, now it gets heavy and then you try to press. You want to drive through the legs and transition just directly into the arms, because that's what's going to have the most transfer to the jerk. And that's what we're trying to do. And again, really emphasizing the legs, and driving through the head is kind of another good cue. So you're not driving out and around your body, you're driving through, so it gets back over your center of gravity. See, if I'm like standing sideways, you want to be over your center line as best you can. All right, then the strength, we'll just roll with the back squats again. Bada bing, bada boom. And just a little note here for you. It's not what you do when everything is going well that's important. It's what you do when everything fucking hits the fan, and how you respond and how you choose to react to that. Because you may not always get to choose what's going on in the circumstances, but you always get to choose how you react and the perspective that you choose to take on. Your worst nightmare could very well be your greatest opportunity, and the only thing that shifts is how you view it. So just felt like sharing that with you, yo.
No, absolutely. And you might not, the thing is, you might love who you are when things are great, and love how you are when things are going your way. And you might not like how you are right now when things aren't good. You might not like the way you handle adversity. You might not be proud of the version of yourself that comes out in that way. But you have to accept that, and you have to then say, okay, I don't like the way I handle stress. I don't like the way I get when stress is high and like things aren't going my way. But we can work on that. You have to take yourself where you are, though. You have to say, hey, look, this is where I'm at. I'm gonna work, because you're doing the work, and you doing the work is how you improve. Like, and it's all blended together, everyone. Our time doing this has given us obviously a lot of physical benefit, but it's also just as much here and here. Like, if you're willing to do the work, like day in and day out, commit to it, be consistent with it, like, you'll find yourself being able to stand tall. You'll step into that heavy weight, and it won't be like, oh, coach, I don't know. You'll be like, I mean, it is heavy. Like, it's heavy, it's hard. Like, but I'm gonna do it, and I gotta do it, because that's just you. Like you said perfectly, you get to choose the way you stand in the face of adversity. So, again, just it's up to you. You get to choose.
All right, baby. So we're on that specific day now. So we just got three blocks.
Okay. So
just to pull this up. So obviously we're gonna do two specific. We're gonna do a snatch, clean, jerk. So we can start with the technique again. Let me see. We did last week. We did a power clean with the paws above the knee and below the knee. Honestly, let's just roll with that again. I think that's been a good kind of drill.
Power clean.
And we'll be doing heavy now.
Paws above / below. Whoops.
And another little tidbit while he's writing that, sometimes, like for instance, on this day, we know we're going to be doing heavy doubles in the snatch and the clean and jerk. And so one of the ways within the exercise that you can kind of adjust the intensity and like modulate how hard it is with it still being hard, because it's still going to be a 5 on these power cleans, but because we're doing those pauses, not only is it training those different positions, but it's also making it so you're not actually going to be lifting as much weight. And so therefore, when we get to the heavy clean and jerks, which we will be doing full clean and jerks, you will have like a little bit extra reserve, versus if we were to just be like, you're just going to do a power clean, like a full power clean from the floor. That might actually tax you out a bit, and it might start dipping into how you perform when you go to do your clean and jerk. So it's another little nugget in there for you. Perfect. All right, and then now we on that strength day. So we'll probably just we'll do strength again. Oh well, we did technique, strength, but I think how we can approach this, because we did jerk as the technique block, and then we did front squats, and then we did 2-inch deficit snatch deadlifts. I think what we could do, again, like when in doubt, specific it out, be specific. So we can do the jerks, so just straight jerks, and then we'll do the front squats. Heavy. So not a long day, but she gonna be a heavy one. That's nice too. Sometimes you need them a little short and a little heavy. All right. And that was wise words from Courtney, if you're out there.
Oh, Courtney.
All right, and then we resting on the rest day.
Again, like you said, you guys want to go ahead and do anything, like a heavy-ish, it's like a 3, whatever, but nothing is assigned. Just, it takes discipline, especially once you get going all this, once you've been locked in for a long time. Like, early on, it might be, like you might have to convince yourself to go to the gym and like have to use willpower, but once it becomes ingrained in you, it'll be the opposite, where you might have to like use willpower to not go to the gym, and like you have to restrain yourself because you feel like you need to do something, and you feel like your body almost like wants that. And again, you can find different ways to like, you know, like scratch that itch. Again, just by like, you know, riding your bike or like going for a walk. Like it doesn't have to be rigorous every time, because again, if you fall into that trap, you're rigorous all the time, then you're gonna get to the point where like you're overtraining, right? Like we don't want that. Don't need that in your life.
Yep. Yeah, I know that's been my experience. Like it's much harder to do nothing than it is to do something a lot of times. But sometimes doing nothing is the best thing that you could possibly do.
Best thing you could possibly do.
All right, accessory day. We got a 3-2-4. So we'll probably just do like a tech ack on her.
Screw.
And so let's see. So we did below the knee hang clean. So let's just kind of take a look here. So we've done some snatch balances. We did some power snatch. We've done some power cleans. We've done some direct jerk work. Did some front squats, snatch, clean and jerk. You know, I'm kind of feeling, let's do some squat jerks again.
Okay.
I think those are done. We're actually, we don't do them this week, but I think we'll add them back in for this last week here. Again, like the cool thing with those, and there's quite a few exercises that fall into this category, but the cool thing with squat jerks is because you have to be so on point with your position. The exercise itself teaches you the technique. And that's why, like for me, if I can do something or I can assign an exercise where I don't have to actually coach that much, I don't have to say a lot, I much prefer that, because the exercise in itself becomes the teacher. And so that's kind of like the squat jerk is a good teacher, because it's difficult to do if you don't do it right. And when you do it right, it feels pretty good. Okay? All right, so we got the squat jerk, 3x2 out of 4, and then we'll do the ack. So obviously it's the peak week, so as you notice, we actually haven't had any accessories this week. So that way we can really maximize these 2 that we got here. So I think let's do kind of a like a big accessory, and then we'll do a little accessory. So let's see, we did overhead press last time. I mean, we're already doing that. Let's do, I'm feeling some, because we didn't do these deadlifts today. So what if we just did some RDLs? We'll just do some RDLs. Let's keep it simple.
Normal grip or like snatch grip?
Just normal. Yep. Just some straight RDLs. All right, so that we hit a little lower body accessory. So now this second accessory, we can probably do some kind of circuit. And we're working with the 3 here. So remember, as another rule, like when you're trying to superset things, the more exercise you add, you'll end up taking off sets. So we can either do maybe 1 or 2 exercises for a couple sets, or we can do 3 for just 1 set. I kind of feel like, again, we haven't had a lot of other accessories here. So, and I think what we could do here, instead of making that a 2, we can use the other rule for the density, because you know that would damn near turn into a max deadlift.
That's fair.
So we could take that up to, let's see, a 3 it'd be 4. So we can take it up to 4.
4 reps.
Yeah. So All right, and so the second accessory, I'm feeling some kind of like dumbbell. I mean, maybe just a seated dumbbell overhead press. That's a kind of big bang, like
an Arnold press, maybe.
Yeah, and then like you're gonna love it, pull-ups.
Nice, nice. So like just do like a superset, like Arnold press.
Yeah, I think those two things would be fine. So yeah, let's do like Arnold press.
You want to do like a kneeling Arnold press, like down on the knees and then whoof over the top. Because I think kneeling, if you do kneeling stuff,
core?
yeah, get a little more core activation, and then you can still load it up on the dumbbells and still get that full, get the biceps. You know what I'm saying?
Let's do it.
Cool, like that. So we'll go superset. Kneeling Arnold.
Yeah, and hopefully you're kind of starting to see here. It's like you don't need to overcomplicate stuff.
Plus.
And sometimes, well, damn near almost all the time, simple is better.
So in terms of the reps.
So that would be, so we've got 2 exercises now, so that'll just be 2 sets because we're gonna take off a set and we'll do the 4 again. And this is actually like, you know, I know some people when they see accessories and like they see 4 reps, they're like, that's not an accessory. But hey, it's all right, 4 reps. That just means you're gonna be doing some heavier stuff, which especially on these pull-ups, you'll actually, I mean, that might be better for a lot of people that, you know, if you're still having a hard time doing pull-ups, sometimes working in that lower rep range, because then you can kind of, you know, you'll be able to do more with less reps. So you might actually be closer to, you know, if one of your goals is just a full-on body weight pull-up, doing less reps might actually be closer, get you closer to that than always doing like, you know, 8 reps, 10 reps, 12 reps and that kind of thing.
And that's perfect. And on top of that, like building off of that, this is where you guys, again, we have like the outline, and you have like the foundation, but like this is where you guys get to get creative a little bit too. If you could always, if you're only doing 4 reps, like if it's me, for example, if I'm only doing 4 pull-ups, for example, I could obviously do weighted pull-ups. I can tie a little weight belt around my waist, or I could do tempo. I could like go up and come down for like 5 seconds, hold at the bottom. Like it's gonna make it way harder. I'm only gonna be able to do 4 or 5 if I'm like coming down for 5 seconds and holding at the bottom for 5 seconds. So like there's other ways to like, you might, again, like you said, you might see the number and be like, oh, that's not an accessory. But if you're doing it right and you're adding different variables, right? Because not everybody can, again, do those body weights. If you're on the pull-up machine, you got the bands, adding tempo, adding extra weight, like you can get creative. And again, we want you to guys end up putting this, like putting the program in your own hands to an extent, especially with accessories. Obviously, the movements are the movements. Like if you're jerking, you're jerking. If you're clean jerking, you're clean jerking. Like you gotta do that. But giving you guys the ability to adjust based on, you know, your own body and your own whatever skills and progressions.
Yeah, and just a quick little addition. Remember too, and we actually have this like this current week, this build week that we're on, where the number can, that density number can also equal a certain amount of time. So a 2 would be 30 seconds to 1:30 of time under tension. So like going off of what you're saying with the tempo, that could be another way that you could look at that. And that's what, like this athlete profile that I'm putting together, I will have kind of these different rules and things in that, so you'll have a reference of that. And you'll also be able to see again, like, okay, what are my weaknesses? Like, is my pull up a big weakness of mine? Like, should I do these different variables? Should I swap out one exercise for another? Because what's labeled as a weakness for me is actually one of my strengths, and what's labeled as a strength is actually one of my weaknesses. Which again, like you were saying, you have that freedom within it, but again, not everybody's gonna wanna do all that, so that's why it's still, you know, just run it as is, and you're still gonna get some damn good results out of this.
Definitely.
All right, final day, baby. This one's pretty simple. So this is where we kind of break the rules a little bit, because like technically 1 would just mean 1 exercise, but the test that we're testing is just always gonna include the snatch and the clean and jerk. Although not always, because there are times where we would just do 1 and not the other. But as far as the test goes, we wanna test them both. So, and that's just, yeah, you're just working up to a heavy single, y'all.
Oops. 1 by 1 at 5.
1 by 1 at a 5. Max out, baby. Peek it out. And I would say, because I've gotten some questions about this too, I would say being that this is the end of the prep cycle for this day, even though it is like a kind of a more traditional max out, I would still say, like if you normally wear belts or anything when you max out, all right, we're almost there. Normally wear belts or anything when you max out, I would say still don't, because we haven't been doing that. So I would say this would be like the last day, but then once we start the next cycle, then we'll start, you know, doing all the straps and kind of using the tools and stuff like that. Let me restart this. All right. So there we have it, y'all. Here is the next week, week 4 of the programming. This is peak week, and then just to give you a little teaser, the following week is going to be a deload week. So this, this is a good chance to really put everything we've been doing to the test and really push yourselves this week. Obviously, we got a lot of 5 intensities going on, so it's a lot of heavier intensities, but as you can see, the weights are a little lower now. And ideally, what you'll experience is, because we've already done all this volume, doing these heavier weights at a lower rep range, you should actually feel pretty good, because we've kind of already built this base of conditioning, okay? Because, like, for instance, I mean, whoever's on the 5-day program, we were doing like quadruples of clean and jerks and then triples of clean and jerk. So going to 2 reps is like, that's a piece of cake. All right, cool. That's it, y'all. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing week. Thanks for tuning in. As always, love at the core. There's always more. The journey is the way. Trust the flow of surrender, and we'll see you next time.
Love you guys.
Peace.
See you later.